So here we have a level in the game where I can't use my flashlight to get through this level. And the little lighter that they give you is not meant to be a great source of light in dark areas like this in the game. So how this level made it through the testing phase during the game's development is beyond me. Because without the flashlight, navigating through this level is nearly impossible. Yet, this is the state that this game was released in. And I even went online and discovered that a lot of other people were having the exact same issue with this specific level in this game, where they couldn't use their flashlight when you actually need it the most. And in this same particular level, there's another issue that I ran into, which is a common issue throughout the entire game, where the game is just a glitchy, unfinished mess. And glitches can happen out of nowhere. We're talking some PS2 level shit, where the game developers clearly didn't finish the fucking game, but released it anyway. And the spider just knocked me underneath the level, as you can see yourself. This is what AAA gaming looks like in 2019, according to Deep Silver and 4A Games. I can't think of a single video game where I've had glitchy technical issues like this to this degree. Even some of the games that I absolutely can't stand and that I despise with every fiber of my being, such as Metal Gear Solid 5, The Witcher 3, and the newest God of War. Even those games were technically more complete than this. So how this game got praising reviews is beyond me. I mean, just look at this shit, man. This is a fucking joke. This is quality AAA gaming in 2019. This game got 8 out of 10s across the fucking board and shit. Every major video game publication was giving this good scores. And you have shit like this in this game. What the fuck? Am I supposed to take this shit seriously or what? And then another major issue is that the game doesn't really give you shit for ammunition even on lower difficulty levels. I played this game on normal. Where's all the fucking bullets and shit at, dude? You literally have to go for headshots the entire game. And see, look at this kind of stupid shit right here, where it's not even a shooter. It's just Mike Tyson's Punch-Out with guns. That's boring. Not to mention the fucking amateur sound design, dude. It's like they didn't even fucking try. And here we go with more bullshit, where the AI is practically playing the game for me. I may as well put down the controller because they're taking out all the enemy NPCs for me. Without my input, I'm not attacking at all. He's mowing them all down. Whenever you have AI companions on screen, they play the game for you. The game doesn't require my input at that point. So once again, this is AAA gaming in 2019, an apparent 8 out of 10 game. Glitches all over the fucking place, clunky ass movement, terrible weapon sensitivity, wonky animation. The list just goes on and on with this fucking game, man. It's ridiculous. Metro Exodus was developed by 4A Games and published by Deep Silver, and this game has been out for a little over a week now, and let me just say that I can't believe this game was released in the state that it's been released in and has received the positive response that it's gotten. First and foremost, Metro Exodus is not a bad game, but it is an unfinished game. It's severely unfinished. There's glitches all over the place in this game throughout the entire thing. The story to the game isn't really all that good. It's a very cliche story about survival and freedom from an underground movement that goes to the surface and is searching for a new home out in this desolate post-apocalyptic world, which at first was interesting, but because the game forces you into so many in-game cutscenes that are overlong and require no input from the player, it really took me out of the experience, because at first the story was something that I was really enjoying, But the longer the game dragged on, I was like, whatever, I just want this shit to be over already. This game has some of the worst enemy NPC design that I've ever seen in a video game, where the AI will just run up to you and the animations are just so clunky and wonky that it's like, how did this game make it through the testing phase? Did they even have a fucking testing phase for this game? That's the question that I want to know. The weapon sensitivity is dog shit in this game, as I mentioned before. It's way too slow, and turning Artyom, the character that you're playing as, it doesn't feel good. It's not a game where the shooting mechanics are very strong. And the only other first-person shooter that I can think of that has a heavy weapon sensitivity on purpose is Killzone 2, which was released on the PS3 years ago. But that game actually feels good compared to this. You know, the weight actually had some good quality to it in that game compared to this. And this game also suffers from what the other Metro games suffered from, and what my issue was with the older Metro games. Specifically, Metro 2033 I didn't play last light, although I have both games through the Redux collection. They have all these gameplay elements in this game where you can tell the game developers are trying to make the game as realistic as possible. Like, you take fall damage just from jumping 10 feet off of something, off of a ladder or something, and you fucking die. I mean, are we really being that fucking stupid with the design in this game? Because that's stupid. That's retarded. Dying from a 10-foot fucking fall off a goddamn ladder. That's realistic to these motherfuckers who designed this game? Seriously? The fucking filter, the mask, the gas mask, where you have to change your fucking filter every 5 fucking minutes or whatever the hell it is. I'm just like, come on, man. That kind of shit is annoying. And your gas mask, it cracks. And when it cracks, you gotta put some fucking duct tape on it. I'm just like, come on, dude. Why is that in the game? Why? These are perfect examples of game developers trying to make their game too realistic. And that's really only accessible to a certain audience, a certain demographic. But those things are small issues. Some of the bigger issues in this game, aside from the fucking glitches and the questionable mechanics in this game, why is the ammunition so scarce in this game? Even on lower difficulty level. I'm just like, on normal difficulty, it's fucking hard to find any kind of ammunition for any weapon in this game. So much so that you have to craft ammunition at certain parts in the game just to make it through certain areas of the game. How is that fun? Because if I go and I play something like one of the Resident Evil games on their hardest difficulty, those games give you ammunition. You just have to be careful as to how you spend it. But in this game, it's like, it really got to a point where I had to go for headshots and just fire one bullet. And that's how you engage every single combat scenario in this game. That's not fun. That's bad game design. That's what that is. And I also want to talk about the Artyom character himself, because he really doesn't have a personality in this game. He doesn't speak throughout the entire game unless you're on a loading screen. You have other characters that will address him as if he's a real person, but then the character that you're playing as doesn't respond. He doesn't speak. He shows no emotion in this game at all. And then if you go in the game's photo mode and you try and zoom the camera out, Artyom's character model will just vanish. He'll just disappear, as if he's not even really there. I'm like, what the fuck kind of game is this at this point? And everyone was praising this game. GameSpot even highlighted the fact that the game has glitches, and they still gave that game an 8 out of 10. You know, this is another perfect example of why I'm considering just dropping gaming after this console generation is over. I'm tired of playing shit like this, where the fucking game is clearly not finished. The game developers only developed it up to a certain percentage and just said, fuck it, release it, and patch it later. I'm tired of the whole patch it later mentality. It's like back in the PS2 era, you either finished your fucking game and released a complete product, or you released a piece of shit and risked losing money. But nowadays, game developers, we don't give a fuck. Because of the advent of the internet, yeah, we'll just patch it later. It's fine. You know, this is why I can't take video game reviews seriously. I just made a fucking video on that, discussing, you know, customer reviews and publication reviews. How did this game get 8 out of 10s across the fucking board from all these different gaming publications, and the game's not finished, and it has all these issues? How? I'm trying to wrap my mind around it, and I'm having a hard time doing it. And the only great thing about this game really is the graphics. That's it. Everything else is mediocre as fuck. The gunplay doesn't really feel that good, especially considering that you can't really even fire the fucking weapons due to the limited amount of ammunition that's in the game. And if I compare this game to a real first-person shooter like Wolfenstein or Titanfall or Halo, you know, those games are much more fun in comparison, and they have stronger mechanics. They have stronger shooting mechanics. You know, I watched Jim Sterling's video on this game. You know, he was talking about how you get caught up on objects in the environment. This shit is so fucking ridiculous, where you'll be crouched and you're trying to navigate the environment using stealth, because stealth is a big part of the gameplay in this game. And yet you get caught up on every little thing that's in the environment. I'm like, once again, how did this game make it through the testing phase? And you have all these issues. And he also mentioned in that video that he enjoyed Far Cry New Dawn a lot more. And then you had a bunch of dumb fuck butthurt motherfuckers in the comments, these fanboys and shit. Oh, Far Cry is just the same shit over and over and over again. Yeah, because Far Cry actually has a fucking formula that works. And this game is trying to be Far Cry so fucking hard, dude. You can't even swim in this fucking game. It's supposed to be like this open world game and you can't even fucking swim. You go in the water, this motherfucker is like waving his arms all over the place. And it's like, this is a highly trained soldier and you're telling me he can't swim? Yet when I go play a Far Cry game and I go in the water, I can swim. I can go underwater and navigate the environment that way. But I can't do that in Metro Exodus. You know, Metro is not supposed to be something that's an open world experience. This is another one of those games where it's like, the game developers didn't care what was best for the series. They just said, what's popular right now? Open world games with some kind of RPG progression system. Just the same as games like Metal Gear Solid 5, which shouldn't have been an open world game. Just the same as games like God of War, which shouldn't have been an open world game. Just the same as games like Nier Automata, which shouldn't have been an open world game. And now we have this shit. And then the fucking navigation, even the navigation with the open world is bullshit. Because there's no waypoint system. And you have all these elitist idiots up on the internet. Oh, well, back in the day, I had to figure out where I had to go myself. I actually had to explore. Games aren't developed like that anymore these days. Yeah, it's called an upgrade. The waypoint system is designed for a reason. Open world games use them for a reason. So you don't have the player meandering and wasting their fucking time exploring this wide open space. The game tells you exactly where you need to go and how to get there. Because there's no waypoint system in this game, you gotta constantly pull out this map and look at the map. And the map will tell you exactly where you are in the open world, this open world environment. And then you have to navigate there. But because there's no waypoint system, every 5 seconds, you gotta pull this map out of your ass. Okay, this is where I'm at right now. This is where I need to go. I'm not facing the right direction. I gotta turn around. I mean, what the fuck is this, dude? And then this game's not even that long. And I'm not even sure that's even a bad point, due to how mediocre the game is as a whole. So, in a nutshell, I liked Metro Exodus, but barely. Just barely. Had this game gone on any longer than what I played it for probably about 10 hours, had the game stretched out an hour longer than what it turned out to be, I would have ended up hating this game. This month has not been a good month for video games. It's been trash. Jump Force turned out to be a mediocre piece of shit. Anthem was a mediocre piece of shit long before the demo for that game was released. And I already saw the backlash for that game coming. And now we have Metro Exodus, a game that should have been great, a game that has all the right elements and a solid foundation to be great, but because the game developers wanted to be lazy with certain things, it's just weak. This is not worth $60 full price. This is barely worth $30 half price. And then you have all these other high quality games that are coming out next month with Dead or Alive 6, Devil May Cry 5, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Why the fuck would you spend money on this shit, dude? Seriously. Anyway, that's what I got to say about Metro Exodus. It's a weak game, it's mediocre, it's short, it's glitchy, the mechanics are garbage. It's just a waste of money and a waste of time, essentially. And I feel no need to go back through and play it again.